In today's adventures, not only will I be battling another delicious looking Schnitzel challenge, but I'm also checking out more of the Newcastle area while continuing my Australian tour. And speaking of battles, I hate to say it, this one is not looking too good, with all hope continuing to dwindle the more I document the big man's troubling addiction.
It consumes him.
But anyways, since today's challenge wouldn't be happening till later in the evening, we had the whole day to explore. And this time, we'd be visiting Tomaree National Park, where we'd also be getting plenty of activity to add some much needed balance in order to offset those food challenges I'd be taking on during the trip, or at least that's what I was telling myself. So why not get a few steps in while also checking out some beautiful, scenic sights at the same time? Of course, this was only possible due to our gracious host, Mr. Lemon Blossom. So, full disclosure here, but I had no idea just how high or how long it would take. And this really started becoming apparent after taking several flights of stairs. And my lack of cardio capacity here was really starting to show a little sooner than I had hoped. But I pushed on, and you know what? It was well worth it, because we weren't even close to the top. And the views here were already so incredible, so much so that it actually motivated me to keep going, as I was looking forward to all the upcoming sights to be seen, even if it meant dealing with more stairs. And believe me, there were more stairs to be climbed here. Now, while I am a little embarrassed about how badly I was struggling to climb these stairs, I did something moments later that I'm very shameful of. Because you see, once we made it to the tippity top, it just so happened that Randy was using up the last bit of juice on his phone. And then, I did something I am not proud of. I let Randy borrow my power bank so he could further feed his phone addiction.
Why would you do that?
And to make things worse, my power bank had enough juice to charge his phone several times over.
What were you thinking?
I know, believe me. Being an enabler here, it's something I will never be able to forgive myself for. But with how much worse his addiction gets every day on this trip, and with all the opportunities for scenic photos and videos to get posted on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and YouTube, and not to mention the insurmountable amount of mindless scrolling across the internet, if he didn't get that fix, man, how the side effects from the withdrawals would affect him, or how he would start to act because of it.
I need it now, not later!
And honestly, I didn't want to find out either, so I caved, dealing the goods that he was craving. And like any hopeless addict, he immediately started using. And with that, I just continued on, trying to distract myself from the heinous act I just committed. And I did my best to do so by focusing on all the beautiful sights while we made our way back down. And once we made it to the bottom, Randy was nowhere to be found.
One eternity later.
In fact, turns out he just stopped to post something on his phone. Anyways, after checking out the top of Tomaree National Park, we briefly checked out a few other sites in the surrounding areas. One of the other places we checked out included Tomaree Head, and I thought this was pretty interesting because here we got to check out a World War II gun emplacement, which acted as a strategic defensive position. Now, I'm not a history buff or anything, but I still thought this was pretty cool, and let me know in the comments down below what you think. And once our adventures here wrapped up, we made it back to our base of operations, and I prepared for the upcoming battle at hand by making sure I had those fashionable foodie socks on, and then it was time to saddle up and get ready because we were on our way. And once we arrived to the hotel where the challenge would take place, we got ourselves settled in, and then soon enough, it was time for the battle to begin. And here we go. I am taking on the Schnitzel Stack Challenge at the Lemon Grove Hotel in Wallsend, New South Wales of Australia. And for this challenge, you have 1 kg of chicken schnitzel. Then you also have 500 grams of chips and a side salad to go with it. And for the Schnitzel Challenge, you have a 30-minute time limit. And if you fail, you're gonna have to fork over 50 Australian dollars. But if you can complete the challenge, you get the meal for free, a free shirt, and your picture up on their wall of fame. So unless this is your first time watching one of my videos, and if that's the case, welcome and thank you for stopping in, you already know with about a 99% certainty of what's gonna happen here, especially since I have 30 minutes to get the job done. So I put it upon myself to see if I could actually finish this challenge in 1/3 of the time. just as something fun to aim for, as I enjoy each and every bite of this chicken schnitzel, which, I gotta be sounding like a broken record at this point, but man, schnitzel challenges, they're quickly becoming one of my favorite challenges to do, and at this rate, it might not be too long before I start suiting up in a schnitzel hoodie. And also, this might be a hot take here, but in my opinion, just like a good steak, a good schnitzel shouldn't need any gravy or sauces to complement it. And I would like to know, is this a bad take? Let me know in the comments down below. Alright, so it has been a while since I've done a question of the day, so I'm going to pick up where I left off, and for today's question of the day is, what is my favorite TV show? And honestly, it's a very close one, between The Office and that 70s show. Now, if I had to just pick one, I'd probably go with The Office, just because of the fact that there's probably more people that would want to watch it. And also as an honorable mention, I'm throwing in The League as my third pick. Alright, now that I'm done with the schnitzel, it's time to chip away at those chips. And really, there's not much to say here other than chips are chips. And if you know, you know. Moving on to the salad, having some leafy greens during a challenge is always a welcome sight because you don't get to see them all that often. And also, when it comes to salads, it's actually one of the few items that during challenges, I'm perfectly okay with not trying to be so tidy and clean about things. Because trying to use a fork during the entire time while eating the salad, it just starts being a nuisance and an overall waste of your time, which gets kind of annoying as you're just sitting there taking forever, trying to stab everything with your fork, only to get like a quarter mouthful of food. So to me, it's not worth it. I'll do what I can to start off, but then eventually I'll just get a bit more handsy and finish her off that way. And now that I defeated this schnitzel, only one last challenge remains. Of course, I'm talking about the post-challenge victory push-ups. And with that completed, I picked up my shirt for completing the challenge, and just before leaving, I tried my luck at getting dessert from a claw machine nearby, which I wasn't as successful as I'd hoped, which is probably for the better. Then we made our way back to the home base to rest up, recover, and prepare for tomorrow's adventures. And to embark on another video, tap the video on the screen or click the link in the description down below, and I'll see you there.